To assassinate the President of France, the killer meticulously crafted a miniature sniper rifle. Then he drove toward the outskirts of Paris. Just as he was about to hand over his passport, a border officer suddenly requested to inspect his trunk. Luckily, he had already hidden the weapon inside the exhaust pipe, avoiding detection by the narrowest of margins. But he had no idea. Danger was closing in fast. French intelligence had received a tip-off. Codename Ghost was plotting an assassination. They had even identified his temporary residence. A massive police operation was launched. Teams rushed to the hotel to make the arrest. Fortunately, Jack's organization warned him in time. He fled just moments before the raid, escaping deep into the remote wilderness. He unexpectedly came across a couple lost in their own little world. While they were distracted, Jack swapped their license plates, repainted the car entirely, and planned to use it to sneak into the venue. But midway through the trip, he crashed into another vehicle. The freshly modified car was totaled on the spot. Seeing the other driver was already dead, Jack simply took the man's car and continued his journey. He arrived at the destination not long after. After careful scouting, he identified the perfect vantage point, a rooftop directly opposite the reviewing stand. The view was clear and the angles ideal for a clean shot. Next came the challenge of infiltrating the ceremony. From a street vendor, he bought a Zhongshan-style suit and a few fake military medals. He disguised his right leg to appear amputated and transformed himself into a disabled war veteran. Limping on a cane, he made his way slowly into the event grounds, but the security checks were stricter than expected. Thankfully, his forged officer id was convincing enough, and he slipped through undetected. At the sniper point, he calmly unwrapped the disguise, restored circulation to his numbed leg, and carefully peeled back a corner of the curtain using only his eyes to estimate shooting parameters. With the president still en route, he quickly unscrewed the handle of his cane and extracted the hidden rifle components, expertly assembling them within seconds. He pulled a chair over for a makeshift gun rest, lined up the shot, and waited in silence. But something was off. The entire parade ground had been placed under maximum security. Armored vehicles stood ready, thousands of infantry were on high alert, and even the rooftops were crawling with elite reconnaissance units. Penetrating that kind of defense was next to impossible. When President Charles de Gaulle stepped onto the square and prepared to solemnly declare the parade's commencement, an intelligence officer suddenly burst into the security center, urgently asking if a disabled veteran had been let inside. The sergeant immediately sensed something was wrong, and the two rushed toward Jack's position, but they were too late. Through an 8-time scope, Jack had already lined up the shot, aiming directly at the president's head. He pulled the trigger without hesitation. Before he could fire a second round, the intelligence officer kicked the door open. The shot went wide. Jack immediately gunned down the escorting guard, but reloading took too long and the intelligence officer fired multiple rounds into him, killing him on the spot. This is a true story. No one can predict fate, nor fully understand the paths people are forced to walk. Yet this unbelievable scene happened exactly as told.